All right, well, welcome to the PD Avengers Assemble meeting. I'm Larry Gifford, president of the PD Avengers, and we have quite a few things to go through today. But first, I want to say hello to Sonia Mather. Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Larry. Hi,
Sonia's
everyone.
the co-founder of PD Avengers. Tim can't make it. They are busy planning his daughter's wedding. Oh, yay. So you should be able to see the numbers. We now have 5,481 members, 93 countries, and 107 partners. So that is amazing. If you didn't see, Sonia and myself and Gary Shaughnessy and Tosh were part of the webinar where we talked about with the WHO about their new 10-year plan for Parkinson's. And then the article was picked up by the Journal of American Medical Association just 2 weeks ago. So you can look that up on JAMA. And it's the, several PD Avengers helped write the article for JAMA, and we're really happy to be working with the WHO on especially middle and low income countries and the standards of care that we're expecting over the course of the next decade, and some of the pieces and parts that we put into place at that time. And it's really, it's nice to be involved with those conversations from a patient perspective for the first time in maybe ever. So it's great. We have a couple of surveys that we want to pass around. First off, Sonia, why don't you talk about the research with the women and Parkinson's?
Sure. So our first one that went out a couple of months ago has now had 2,300. The data is now being collated and analyzed, and hopefully we'll have some information to share about what we find with that particular survey. We're working now on the premenopausal survey, which is pretty much I'm done. It'll depend on how much time it'll take the Fox Insight team, the great team over there, to kind of get it ready for dispensing it. So we're waiting on that. And then there'll be 2 more surveys after that, perimenopausal and postmenopausal. And then we probably will have an additional kind of side survey on birth and pregnancy and birth. So we're working on it. Hopefully, I would imagine that even, it says here by mid-2023, I think even sooner than that, we should hopefully be done the surveys and be able to share some of the results at, for example, at the WPC in Barcelona next summer. So that's what I have to say about that. It's very exciting.
So they have a survey out now about clinical trial participation, and you can take part in that, and that's going to, it's on their website. If you just look at cureparkinsons.org.uk, and it's part of the Rally to the Challenge survey. So we would appreciate your help in that. And then also the folks at It's Not Funny in Australia are doing a survey, and their big question is, can one lead a good life, potentially even flourish, while living with Parkinson's? And so they would like you to answer that and a few other questions on their survey on their website, itsnotfunny.surveysparrow.com. Or you could just go to their website, It's Not Funny. So appreciate your help with that as these organizations try to gather more and more information over time. Like to give a shout out to the folks at the Davis Finney Foundation who are wrapping up their Every Victory Counts this week after a month of activities. Right now they're doing the Victory Arms Challenge starting yesterday through the end of the month. So you just take a picture of yourself with the Victory Arms and send it to teamdpf@dpf.org. And then they also have released the Canadian edition of the Every Victory Counts manual. Sonia, were you involved in that? And do you know what is different between the Canadian version and the US version?
The Canadian version has more testimonials from Canadian PD people living with Parkinson's, and some of the resources are different in terms of connecting people to community resources.
Oh, okay. I imagine the healthcare system's a lot different too. So there's probably some adjustment.
Accessing, yeah. So it's yeah.
Oh, great.
Very good.
So you can get both editions for free on the Davis Phinney website. All In Summit is coming up, PMD Alliance, and I'm going to be there, so I would encourage you to be there. But I am very excited about it, and it's going to be awesome. Rachel, are you going to be there?
I'll be there. I'll be there with bells on.
What can people expect?
Well, we are putting together all of our sort of curriculum for it now with all of our breakouts and panelists, and it's going to be uplifting, to say the least. It's going to be fun and funny and playful. We're going to be dancing and having a great time. Jimmy Choi is a keynote speaker. Of course, Larry Gifford will be a keynote speaker. Bradley McDaniel's going to be joining us. Robert Cochran with his improv organization is going to be there. And David Leventhal with Dance for PD. And we're just going to have a ton of people that are going to be very enthusiastic and positive. And it's a place for support group leaders to sort of gain tools and different ways to run their group. It's going to be for community leaders, Rocksteady boxing coaches. It's going to be the first and hopefully the not the last of its kind of summit. I put the link in the chat, and we have extended our early bird pricing, which was $200. That includes the 3 days of the conference, 3 overnights in a guest room, and 3 days of meals. So very, very fair pricing. All you'll need to do is get to DC, October 22nd to the 25th. We hope to see a lot of PD Avengers there.
I hope so too. That would be amazing. And how do you get that pricing? That's amazing. I can't believe how affordable it is. It's truly.
We have great sponsors. We partner really well with the pharmaceutical organizations that will sort of have tables and booths there available to educate and learn about all the medications and therapies that are there. And you know, we have some great donors, and so we're able to keep this pricing really low and allow for people to enjoy this as easily as possible.
That's amazing. A month earlier, there will be Rallying to the Challenge, and you can sign up for that as well. It's a meeting designed for people with Parkinson's advocates, care partners, to explore how Parkinson's community can impact and accelerate research. It's $50. It's online. Helen Matthews is a key proponent of this and one of the organizers. So Helen, I'd love for you to chat about what this is and what people can expect if they decide to join the hybrid meeting.
Thank you so much, Larry. Sorry, I've got a very noisy puppy here who is very pleased that I'm home and definitely wants me to play. So I'm sorry if there's a squeaky noise that appears. Anyway, Rallying to the Challenge this year, it's got the theme of modifying progression from molecules to trials. So this is looking at some of the molecules that are showing the most promise to be disease modifying, so changing the progression of Parkinson's disease. And some of them are already in clinical trials, and those clinical trials, there'll be progress about those clinical trials, and some will also be reporting results relatively soon. So it's a very varied agenda. It's covering lots of different targets, Parkinson's targets that we're using, therapeutic targets that we're looking at. And it really will be an extraordinary meeting. It's also going to involve all sorts of wonderful discussions, things like how best to involve people with Parkinson's in evaluating preclinical research. Waffle, do be quiet.
Waffle.
Sorry, talking, little dog.
Waffle.
Yes, I know. So sorry, everybody. Not an awful lot I can do about that.
It's okay.
I might not be able to continue this conversation for much longer, though.
That's great. I love laughing. So yeah, we're encouraging people to take the Rallying the Challenge survey on your website as part of our preparation for the Rallying to the Challenge. And any participation is appreciated, whether you can be there, whether you can be online, whether you can just fill out the survey. We appreciate your help with this.
And actually, the survey is already, we've already had over 200 responses to it. And we're particularly now seeking people who have taken part in clinical research to really understand their experiences. Waffle, do be quiet. Some of the outcomes are already sort of showing that we're understanding why people are taking part in research, and more importantly, some of the real issues that people are facing when they want to take part in research. So it's going to be an absolutely fascinating survey that we're partnering with a whole lot of different institutes to try and just spread the word and gain as much experience and knowledge as we can.
Well, that's fantastic. I want to move on to next month, which is August. The APDA has a big webinar coming up about sleep issues, which we can all use. Eloise, do you want to talk about that at all?
Sure. Yeah. So this is part of our Dr. Gilbert hosts series. It's a monthly series where our chief scientific officer hosts a broadcast every month, where each time she has a different guest talking about a different topic. Sometimes it's one medical expert. Most recently, we had some care partners who came on, so it was more of like a panel kind of discussion. But this one is focused on sleep issues in PD, something that we get a lot of questions about and that we want to provide more resources on. And it's an opportunity you can participate live. It's a virtual discussion, and there'll be a bit of a presentation, and then you can get your questions answered live. So please, spread the word, encourage people to join. Of course, it's recorded and archived, and you can view it at a later time. But we're excited about this one. So hopefully people can join us.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Oh, this is awesome. We hit 400,000 downloads on the When Life Gives You Parkinson's podcast all time. So we've been doing it for about 4 years now. So that's really exciting. And so I thank everybody from all 149 countries that have been listening. This is not a great number for podcasts in general necessarily, but for a niche podcast like this, that's a really, really nice milestone. And so we appreciate the ongoing support from the Parkinsons Canada and you for listening. And we've just launched season 5, and last week we had the spinning wheels bicyclists from Canada who are going cross country from British Columbia all the way to the Atlantic Ocean across Canada. It's going to take them 3 months. So they're checking in tomorrow. They will be in Winnipeg at U-Turn Parkinson's for a special event. So that's Tim's place. So very exciting. And then, a year away, just less than a year away, we will hopefully all be in Barcelona. I think the heat wave is now getting us prepared for the kind of weather to expect in July in Barcelona. But the World Parkinson Congress is an international forum for basic science, clinical researchers, healthcare professionals, people with Parkinson's, and their partners and others to come together under one roof to discuss, learn, and engage, debate around the latest scientific discoveries, medical and comprehensive care practices related to Parkinson's disease. There's some key dates there. The registration and housing open up on October 3rd, so you can begin to register for the Congress on October 3rd, and you can apply for travel grants between October 22nd and early January. So a lot of people need some help to get there, and so that'll be available beginning October 22nd. If you go to WPC2023.org, WPC2023.org. And if you're planning to attend, if you're going to be there, and you'd like to be a part of the PD Avengers WPC working group, where we're going to try to figure out our presence and plan an event, maybe a happy hour or whatever, please email me at larry@pdavengers.com. We'll get some people together and we'll make some plans and, have some sangria, some tapas, yeah, right? So that'd be fun. Let's see, next up. We are going to do Stand Up to Parkinson's on World Parkinson Day again next year as one of the activities. So if your organization, we're going to have one destination website to go to log all the sit-to-stands. So if your organization or your group wants to be part of the official global count, you can email pdavenger10@icloud.com, and we'll get everybody aligned so it's easier to count up the number of sit-to-stands we have around the world. So we're going to have one dedicated portal for everybody to use. All right. And then coming soon, quarterly meetings for PD Avengers who speak different languages. We're going to have live the live interpreters for Spanish, French, German, Italian, and Japanese, and we'll do separate meetings for each of those, so we can focus on those certain countries and that group of PD Avengers, so they can participate fully, and we can get to a better understanding of what's happening at the ground level in those communities. Sonia, I don't know if you want to add to that. You're kind of leading the charge on this.
No, I mean, I think you have it right, Larry. I think that, if we're a global group of advocates, we need to address global needs, and the best way to find out about it is from people on the ground. So being able to converse, freely and effectively is really important for that information to be conveyed. So I'm excited that we'll start doing things in people's own native language, which is exciting.
It's very exciting. We can pass that along. Also, for those of you who missed it, Friday was World Brain Day, and we had just a little meme campaign that I threw together. Low-income countries have no neurologists, or numbers as low as 0.1 neurologist per 100,000 people, compared to 7.1 per 100,000 in high-income countries, which is why we need to address that in a big way. Brain disorders are the #1 leading cause of disability. Brain disorders are the second leading cause of death, and 1 in 3 of us in the world will have a brain disorder in their lifetime. And the goal of World Brain Day, which is brought to you by the World Federation of Neurology, is to share information about brain health and spark a universal effort that brings awareness to the prevalence of brain disorders, the brain's vital role in humanity, and how we can reduce the burden of brain disorders in the world. I love that they're sparking it out. I think that's really important. They're taking our lead. That's great. The Paraquat Parkinsons lawsuits are underway in Chicago, but they're delayed. So there's 1,300 lawsuits have been filed in Chicago Superior Court against Syngenta by PD patients for the role of Paraquat and the alleged role of Paraquat in their onset of Parkinson's disease. These were the initial trials, which will be sort of the bellwether trials for how this goes for the rest of the 1,300, were to begin in November. But there's so much discovery with all of these cases that they've now delayed it until the spring of 2023. So we will keep you up to date on that. As more information becomes available. And then we did Improv for Parkinson's Summit yesterday, and I think there were some people here. I'd love to hear any reaction you had to it. We had a terrific turnout. We had a great night of, we celebrated all the leaders of the people that are teaching, the leaders of the Improv for Parkinson's movement in Vancouver, Las Vegas, Bay Area, and in Florida. And then we also had neurologists there. We had researchers there. There's ongoing research into the impacts of Parkinson's, of improv on people with Parkinson's. Carolyn Wilson, I know you were there. Did you want to chime in here?
Yes, it was fun. It was informative. As I said before, it really laid out a solid case of the benefits to Parkinson's, mind, body, and soul, very holistic. So thank you so much for promoting that.
Oh, for sure. And Rachel, you saw the big show last night. What did you think of it?
It was so fun and so interactive. And I was frankly impressed by the technical skill of it being able to be hybrid completely, with you guys in the studio participating with the people online.
In front of a live audience in the theater.
I was so impressed. It was so good.
It turned out really well. We have some ideas for next year, but if you missed it, it will be uploaded to Metaflix, metaflix.com. This summer, and so you can watch it there. And we really appreciate the support from PMD Alliance and from Metaflix, and the Parkinson's Foundation for giving us the grant to do the research. And so thank you. With that, I think we've gone through all the news articles and the news of the day. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I just want to say thank you again to all of you. It's amazing the impact you're, right? The Improv, the WHO technical briefing, the World Brain Day, the podcast, all the social media. It's amazing all the things you are doing. And Sonia, I was enjoying your website the other day. I was like, it's amazing. I hope each of you take time to celebrate. Take time with yourself to reflect just amazing things that you're doing, time with your friends, time with your family, to really, really, really recognize all that you're doing. Thank you.
Well, that's what this meeting is. This is just a big celebration of all of what we're doing.
Thank you so much, Carolyn.
Thank you, Carolyn. And thanks, everybody. We will see you again next month. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.